Hello, I'm MBX and welcome back to the video. So a lot of people have this mentality that Minecraft isn't really making forward progress anymore, or at least the community isn't, and that, like big things aren't really getting done anymore. Most of the people are just like, kind of slowly playing it and like, whatever. When people think the game died for them, they think the game's died for everyone. Stuff like that happens all the time, and this means that a lot of people don't appreciate just how much amazing different stuff is being done in Minecraft to this day. And I figured one of the best examples of this is some of the most amazing builds which have been released or shown or, showcased in some form this year. And I figured because of that, why not use the, familiar Reddit form of like showing you the top Minecraft builds of this past year and show you just how much has been done in 2017 alone in terms of amazing builds that maybe can inspire you in the same way it inspired me. So hopefully you do enjoy this video. You can like it if you do like it because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like these source videos where again we take the best of something as sourced by Reddit. So arguably it's not the best, but it's like the top or the most impressive in some way. It got the most people intrigued enough to hit the upvote arrow, and yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? With the 25th best one, which is this one right here, because this is a survival build, and the description is a chunky aerial view of 4 years worth of buildings. And as you can see, this is just stunning. This is, admittedly this is 4 years worth, so like that's 2013 to 2017, but this is really stunning. It's just an example of like how much you can really shape Minecraft to your will if you really dedicate some time to it. This was done in survival, and I believe that this could have been done in survival, but just look at the insanity of like, first of all, the castle wall. Follow that around, and it's like, whoa, he took the map and he just like kind of built this huge wall up it. He built a wall and he made his world great again. But besides that, you can also see there's these amazing like just structures all over the place. There's like giant castles, there's things like that, and it really has taken Minecraft from being this empty world into being this medieval kingdom. And that just goes to show, like, even though this one took him years of presumably massive amounts of just like time dedicated, it still goes to show that like to this day people are doing amazing things that presumably haven't been done before. I've never seen something quite like that in survival, and I think it's kind of nuts. So this next one here is from my medieval castle opinions from Craft Gig 14, and as you can see, this one's done on the Pocket Edition, so again, one of the newer versions where you might be like, nothing's ever done there, but he's done this huge thing. Again, you can see it's got the touchscreen controls, so using a touchscreen, he has done this giant castle, and to me, that is impressive. Like, again, most people just consider the PE being like, oh yeah, it's just like some kids playing on phones or whatever, but this clearly proves that like, it goes a lot, beyond that in some way, and I think that's really, really, really impressive. So yeah, I love this castle, I love the, the little clock in the background, and the scale of it is just hugely impressive. It goes to the edge of his render distance, it seems, and that counts for something at the very least. So yeah, you gotta admire people that can do something like that on what seems to be a phone, in my opinion, but it's not quite as good, presumably, as the next one here, which is from NEO0. So he says, another Minecraft sculpture, maybe my favorite one, and yeah, this is a huge Minecraft sculpture, as you can, it's a sculpture made in Minecraft, and it uses the 3D effect to show you all the way around it. And when I first saw this one, because I saw this a couple of months ago and it was a big thing, I was just like, holy wow, that is just like how, even any part of this is almost impossible by itself. First of all, that shield thing, like getting the blocks for that is so crazy to like get them in that way, and then to have like the statue be done like this, again, from one angle, this would be impressive, and then it's got the 3D effect, so you can truly just see that it's not like he focused on one angle of this thing. Every single angle was considered to make an amazing, just like, a guy wearing a coat in some form. Again, I'm not familiar what this is actually from, but the fact that you could do something like that in Minecraft, even with tools, is impressive. Again, it's not clear whether you use tools or not, but still, it just goes to show that literally, oh, it was less than a month ago, apparently, something like that was made, and it's really impressive if you ask me. So then we've also got a working windmill from Spartan Overdrive, or working windmill anyone, and as you can see, it's in some way using I guess what you could like a tool or a command block or something, but it's a windmill which is changing its like little thing. So this is a Minecraft build, admittedly, but still, even like the build itself is pretty impressive, like it's kind of nice, but the fact that it's like hooked up commands to make the windmill actually work, that's really kind of wonderful. Perhaps this isn't something you can do on your Minecraft Xbox Bedrock or your phone or whatever, but it is something you can look at and be like, wow, yeah, a windmill. It's not something you think about very often, but it's something you can do pretty well, apparently enough to get 3,427 people to give you an upvote for it. So then we have this bridge made by nature by Falcon Blur, and as you can see, this build right here is presumably made by nature, like again, it's like a part of the surroundings, but he's turned it into something beautiful. And I'm always talking about this on Seed Sundays. When I'm going over seeds, I mention how like, oh yeah, this would be perfect to do something with. This is literally just using cobblestone walls, fences, and some torches to turn something that was just nature into this beautiful part of the world. Like, again, you can really only see like 20 blocks placed by the guy here, but beautiful, nature, or like really any nature that you can just shape a little bit, add like some highlighting to, you can make into this next level of beauty, and I really love this one. Again, it's not quite sure whether he built this himself or not, but you could see this happening, and you could see how easily you could turn some form of nature into something like this, and it goes to show your Minecraft world can be conquered and people like Falcon Blur have done it. So moving on to the next one here, we've got my latest large project, Forest Fortress by Abigail Tamos00. As you can see, this build right here is a snowy build, and it's got some like crazy effect on the background because like transparency or something. But just ignore the fancy effect and look at the build itself. It is a ice mountain, which is next to a giant lake that might be custom terrain. But even if you ignore that, the fact that they took a giant castle, built it into a mountain, it just looks crazy from this. The effort it takes to get that to happen, even to build a castle into a mountain, is like a lot more effort than you think. And then you can see they've also got some like snow pouring off the side there. There's so many tiny details in this build that I just really, 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 really love. And then there's a little ship by the side too, just to kind of like make this next level. Again, this is a creative kind of thing, but there's no reason why you couldn't do a small version of this. Like, do you have a giant, ice mountain in your world, or even just a regular mountain where it sometimes snows? Why not turn it into an ice mountain with an ice fortress? I think you should, and looks pretty wonderful, as you can see right here. So yeah, I absolutely love that one, and I think it's pretty impressive, and apparently a lot of people thought it was impressive too, and yeah, that was made just 8 months ago. So this is a build which I've been working on for the past 6 months by myself on a survival server I play on. I wanted to show it off here because I just hit the halfway point. So welcome to Cathedral. So this is by Dabutaman. Sorry, his name was a bit tricky there. But as you can see, it's a giant cathedral. And I've been inside quite a few cathedrals in my life. Fun fact. And this looks, perfectly. It represents the experience perfectly from the inside. And it's nuts to, even have this done to like match something like that. Get the lighting just on point. You can see how he's lit up areas up high, which you don't normally do in Minecraft because you don't need to. But he's lit loads of areas to like draw highlights to stuff. And the fact that it's really impressive, pretty good by itself. But then this is done in survival on a server, supposedly, which again, that is next level insanity to me. The fact that like on a server, just log in every day, and eventually you get something like this, just goes to show like next time maybe you could work on a giant Minecraft thing, and maybe you'll get it done something like this. Kind of nuts, and took only 6 months to do, which again, like 6 months sounds like a really long time, and also a really short time in the terms of like, wow, I would have figured that would take longer. So yeah, just 6 months is all you need to make the most impressive cathedral you need to make. So next up, we've got I'm Not the Best Builder, but I'm Proud of This Creation, which is from Sutton Lovin, and this was at the very start of this year. And as you can see, this looks like it was done on the Xbox One or the PS4 because of the brightness, or 360 maybe. But you can see this is like some form of like, it looks a tiny bit like wizardy. But yeah, you can see it's like just a basic kind of structure of just like, here are some stone bricks, add some nether bricks on top. But it looks amazing when you add them all together. There's like an almost symmetry to it, but it's slightly asymmetrical. There's just something about this that just draws in the eye and makes you go, yeah, that looks pretty great, doesn't it? And again, this is something that didn't require too much going into it. There's not too much block choice. It's just like stone brick and some nether brick and some wood, but just those 3 blocks together and some glass have seemed to turn this just amazing, this basic idea into this amazing collection. So again, that's not quite conquering the world because it's on super flat, but still, you could place that somewhere and it would really transform the landscape. So yeah, that is from, again, Sutton Lovin. And let's move on next from that one to the my new home. So this is in super wide format, so it's going to stretch the screen a little bit. But it comes in from Kobas, and as you can see, it's his new home using some crazy shaders. And I think, honestly, the shaders are this hugely impressive part of it. They make it look great. But it's a really great Minecraft home. And over time, the first ever Minecraft homes most people saw were just these square boxes. Then they turned into square boxes with roofs. Now they've turned into, like, not even boxes, just like these amazing, almost works of art. Every time you have a Minecraft house, it seems like it's a work of art in some way, and you could be like that. And you can see he's even got the enchantment table, so this is a clear survival build. It just goes to show that like you can really add anything to make it next level if you'd like to. Which again, that's kind of crazy to me. I'm still gonna make my little boxes. I'm gonna stick to my square little place, but if you want to go that next level, there is always a next level of Minecraft building, especially for houses and stuff, it seems, and that's something you can actually do. Next up, we have the latest addition to our survival server. So this one comes in from Gallon Darcy, and as you can see, this next build here is really just a huge castle built in survival. And this is a perfect example of conquering nature one more time, because there is like an island that was separated from the rest of the world. They built this huge bridge to connect them, and then they have a fortress on both sides. The creeper up there is something like I can't help but notice, but they've got the giant flag flying up the top there, and it just, again, you can barely even spot the original island. I imagine they like terraformed it a little bit to make it work that way, but they entirely changed an island, they entirely changed the landmass, and they've changed what used to just be like a boring, like island next to the landmass, next to this little sand thing down there, and it's just being this like beautiful, beautiful castle that's connecting 2 places. So again, reminds me a little bit of Game of Thronesy, in my opinion, and it's something that just goes to show bridges, pretty darn cool as it turns out. So moving on from that, we've got this is now a fun thing to do from that Sebi98, and as you can see, it's actually one I've shared on Twitter before. It's one I think is just an amazing example of using water flow mechanics to achieve something great. So to me, this is like just an example of like, look how much you can do with water, but you can see how that water is flowing in just the right way to make this beautiful pattern, and then there's a tree in the center too. But even without the tree, you can do this much lower down and just create some crazy stuff, because remember, water has very specific rules on how it flows, and if you use them correctly, you can make amazing, I would call it a work of art like this. And yeah, this is like water art in my opinion. Have you ever played around water art? I bet you haven't. Maybe you should have. So this is a reminder that you totally should have done that. So yeah, this is just over 4,000 upvotes now. We're going into like the really insane territory, but we've still got like just over 10 more to go. And that reminds me, the next one is a mansion I'm currently working on. So this is from Charmsy, as you can see, with a 4 though. It's a huge castle. Like the scale is like kind of hard to properly discern here. It's got a giant tree on the side there. And although again, you can tell there was some tools used for this, this was made in Minecraft. Isn't that crazy? I think that's crazy, and I think you should think that's crazy too. Then obviously moving on from that, we've also got my friend and I made a monastery on some small islands. Again, island thing again. Sorry, small island singular. And again, like you just got a little island chilling out there on again what looks like the 360 edition of the game. And then it's connected to like a mainland where there's by this little bridge here, by what just looks like something that just has so much love put into it. Just there's something about this island that's just so perfect to me. Like the fact that they just built on top of the hill, and like this isn't even conquering the environment. This is just like building on top of it and making your builds look better as a result of that. So boom, there you go. Using the environment to make your builds look better, something you can totally do, because it works both ways. You can make the environment look better, or you can use the environment to make your house look better, and apparently it works either way. Next up, we've got a little spawn made by me and my friend Dan. So this is Eon Lee 0 again. As you can see, this is a I mean, like the scale of this thing is like a little bit tricky to properly grasp. One sec, because of the spinning thing, but it looks like this is 200 maybe. I'm gonna guess 200 blocks high, maybe 150. It's a huge build, and it's using the 3D tool from the Minecraft Windows 10 version again to just make this amazing. Like again, look at the size of this thing; it's nuts. So yeah, as you can see, it's a huge castle. From the front, it looks good enough, but when you see every side, you see there is detail and there is love put into every single part of this. Just looking at this thing is just crazy. And again, this is a reminder that you can make stuff that looks as good as this. Aren't you just like I'm mesmerized personally just watching this thing spin and spin and spin. So maybe you are as well. And that's a great example of both using that tool on the PC, but also just making stuff that's great from every angle. And goes to show like, oh, nothing's been built in the past year. Well, apparently that was. So next up, we have 2 months ago, a guy who's really good at building skeletons of animals. This is Hanzo. As you can see, he built a Triceratops, I believe is the name of the dinosaur. He's built a Triceratops using not bone blocks, using quartz stairs. And personally, the annoying thing about dinosaurs is that like you would figure like bone blocks would be the best one to use, but if you use stone, if you use stairs like this, you can make some pretty good stuff, and this Triceratops is a great example of that. So yeah, I think that's really impressive, and it's a great example of like, you know, fossils in game, not as good as the fossils you can make using some stairs. Next up, we've got from MC Noodler here. So he's a really well-known builder, especially in the Minecraft subreddit. He's actually got the 2017 Castle Collection. So this castle collection is a giant collection of castles, as you can see around here. It's 16 different castles, and they all look pretty good by themselves. Like they're kind of hard to properly see, but it's 16 separate castles that he's made in this past year, and you can like slowly see them. They're all pretty good stuff, basically. That's all you got to keep in mind. Giant Castle Collection by MC Noodler. Again, the guy who's still working and still making great things, such as, by the way, this Orc Stronghold, which he made just 10 months ago. So, as you can see, Orc Stronghold, one of the castles he made, also a very popular one, was part of the collection and has more upvotes by itself because people love the idea of this Orc Stronghold. Next up, we have my friend built Howl's Moving Castle in Minecraft. I believe this is from an anime. I'm pretty sure I watched it, but like I was very tired at the time, so I have no recollection of any of the plot, but he made the thing, yet again, the Howl's Moving Castle, in Minecraft. That's cool, right? And again, maybe a reminder that you can make pretty much anything you've seen in any famous show in Minecraft if you want to. I've got a render for a recent Cyberpunk build just over here. We're moving into like the really top tier stuff now, like the top like 7 of all time. As you can see, this is just like, it uses a lot of filters, so like maybe it's not the most inspiring thing because you can't do it yourself, but like this is crazy that this is made with blocks in Minecraft. Like this looks like a futuristic city, and no, but it's actually in Minecraft. And then also we've got a house on a bridge just over here. So this is by Dr. Bond, and personally, again, it's the same kind of thing where it's just like, isn't that nice? They take a bridge and then they're like, why not make the center a house too? This is something you see in like, you know, fairy tale stuff all the time, but like here it is in Minecraft, like making Minecraft look like a fairy tale. This is admittedly, again, some of this is to do with the shaders, but a lot of this is just like, isn't that ingenious house design? Like taking this very overgrown area and like making it more overgrown, it seems, and then placing a little house in the thing. I like that personally, and a lot of people did too. 6,415 people in fact, but not as many people who like this one. So this is a guy who says, sometimes I forget about my Nev portal a lot, from 42, and I love this. This is probably my favorite one of the entire batch. As you can see, it's a guy who just has like what looks like a normal farm and like, oh yeah, a ghast in the background, except the ghast mouth is his Nether portal. Isn't that like, I love that so much. Like, I think that's the coolest idea. If you can, I think if there's one thing you take from this video, if there's one idea you take for yourself and you use and you make for yourself, it has to be the giant ghast with a Nether portal for the mouth. So you go in via the mouth to the Nether. That is just such a genius idea. And you know, 42, smartest idea at the very least for a Minecraft build. And again, just 2 months ago this was made and submitted. So now we're moving on to like the top 3. We've got Icewood, which is from MC Noodler one more time. So this is the most upvoted of one of his chunk size things. Again, he's really good at compact size Minecraft builds, and as you can see, this is Icewood. So it's a nice little ice castle. It fits within a chunk, so it's something you could build in like a day, and again, made in just 2 months, which is really impressive in my opinion. So yeah, MC Noodler again does some pretty good stuff, and I'm pretty impressed by just like how much you can do with the Minecraft blocks and how good it can look in these particular renders. But you know, that's just a Minecraft build made in a nice biome. And then also moving on from that, we've got 2 more. We've got I love building houses in Minecraft. This is a suburban house that I made. How does it look? From GamerGirl919. As you can see, built on the Minecraft Xbox One edition using the city texture pack, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really good little suburban house. It reminds you that, oh yeah, Minecraft houses, you can go for like that functional thing. You can go for that crazy just like, you know, that next level Minecraft like medieval style, or you can build a house that looks like a house does today, and if you do it in the right texture packs, you do it in the right way, you can make a really impressive thing. This was the second most upvoted thing of all time, and it's on the Xbox, so it reminds you also that like apparently the edition version of Minecraft is still going strong, even till you know, just 6 months ago. This was just submitted. Think it's kind of nuts. And then finally, we've got the very best build of all time, and you might actually recall this one because it showed up earlier, but it's the finished version of an earlier thing. We saw the interior of the cathedral earlier, but here is the finished version of the Cathedral Church of Monty Oom by Daytuberman, and as you can see, this thing is so beautiful on the outside. Like, this was done in survival on a server. It took 7 months apparently, and that must have been 7 months of just like non-stop like going at it. Maybe you shouldn't go that hard. Don't work like 24 hours a day at something, but you know, if you can work a lot on something, you could make insane stuff like this. Look at just, you know, trying to describe why this is so crazy is a big thing, but then he also actually explains the dimensions. This is 314 blocks long, 128 blocks wide, and 186 blocks tall. That is something, you know, that is such an insanely sized box, and it's just so good looking. And it reminds you that new things are being done in Minecraft all the time, things that have never been built. Everything you built is something that's never been built before, and some of those things are really just mind-bending and that can inspire other people to do the same. And that's one of the beauties of Minecraft. That's one of the reasons why, even though, you know, like someone's going to say like Minecraft's dead, ha ha ha, every single time it comes up, because any game that's been around for so long is going to have people that played from 2009 to 2010, 2010 to 2014, 2012 to 2017, but there's always people getting into the game new or who are still playing the game that are doing things that are crazy like this. And hopefully, there's some messages I got in there across, but hopefully you'll enjoy the video. Hopefully you just enjoy seeing the builds, and maybe you're like, oh, this Toycat guy's annoying. But if that's the case, my apologies. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Like if you liked it, share if you liked it, and make sure you hit the bell so you can see these videos daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!